You are either self-employed, potentially a CEO, manage your own company, some type of executive type person, and you're starting to plan for the future. You're looking towards retirement and you want to find out, where will your retirement dollars go the farthest? Where can you stretch that? Which states are going to limit you from a tax burden perspective? That's what this video is all about. I'm going to go through the top 10 states that are going to have the lowest tax burden for you, but also states that you actually want to live in. Starting our list out, number 10 is Delaware. Look, it caught me off guard too. I thought, being as close as it is to Maryland and DC and New Jersey, that taxes would be extremely high. But here's the thing about Delaware. There is zero state income tax and property taxes are really, really low. So your tax in Delaware is low. One of the reasons that you may want to consider Delaware, you've got all the Atlantic coast beaches really, really close to you. Now, some of that water that far up north can get kind of chilly, but you're also close enough to get down into the Carolinas and enjoy the warmer beaches. And Florida's not that far away. Also, if you're a history buff, I mean, think about all the history that's just in that area. And then on the other side of that, if you need access to major metro areas, you've got Philadelphia, DC. Those things are fairly close by and you've got really easy access to them. So you've kind of got a rounded out option there in Delaware. The one downside is there's not a ton of rural land out there. So if you're looking for rural land, it's a little bit harder to find, but strictly from a tax reduction basis, Delaware is a great option coming in at number 10. Coming in at number 9 is Nevada. Now, Nevada is really similar to Delaware in terms of zero state income taxes and moderate property taxes. But overall, living in Nevada is going to stretch your retirement dollars a little bit farther. Now, why would you want to move to Nevada, or who would want to move to Nevada? If you like dry climates and mild climates, Nevada's a pretty good one. Now, if you get up around to Tahoe and on that side where you've got mountains, you're going to have access to snow, you're going to have skiing and stuff like that. But overall, Nevada's a pretty mild winter climate at the very least. Also, Nevada's not all that big. It's not like Texas where I've got to drive 8 hours just to get to the other side of the state or out of the state. Everything is fairly close in Nevada. And so even trying to get to Las Vegas from the far reaches of the state is not that long of a drive. So you've got proximity to entertainment in Vegas and obviously all the restaurants and everything that goes with Vegas. But one of the main reasons that I personally love Nevada is you have access to a ton of outdoor stuff. I've mentioned Lake Tahoe already, Red Rock Canyon outdoor area, and all of the mountains right there around Vegas. And I mean, there's just so many opportunities to get outside and do stuff like hike, just be in nature. You've got skiing, you've got fishing. Nevada is a really, really cool option. That's why it's coming in at number 9 on the list. Coming in at number 8 is Arizona. Now, Arizona does have some income taxes, but they are low. And if you're retired, your income's probably not going to be significant. So your income tax is going to be fairly low. And then on top of that, they've got really low property tax rates. So from a tax perspective, Arizona's a great one. Now, why would you want to move to Arizona? If you're a retiree and you're trying to get out of the cold, obviously Arizona's going to be a lot more warm climate. You're not going to want to get outside all that much in the summer unless you get up into the hills and mountains kind of on the northern edge. So there is a lot of outdoor activity. It just may not be accessible year round, but at least the shoulder seasons and even into winter, you're going to be okay there. Now, the other reason you may want to consider Arizona is if you're a baseball fan, think about all the spring training that happens in and around Arizona. There's a ton of it. So for a large part of the year in that winter training season, you're going to have access to baseball there. So coming in at number 8, Arizona. Number 7 is North Dakota. Now, North Dakota is showing up on a lot of my lists. It checks a lot of boxes for people. In North Dakota, you've got low property taxes. You've got really low income taxes. So your tax burden is going to be low, just like everything on the list. Now, I don't know if I would move to North Dakota permanently. I'm not that big of a fan of the cold, but if the cold doesn't bother you, really, really good option. And a lot of you are probably kind of in the energy sector. Some of you may be coming out of the Houston, DFW, Louisiana areas. And if you're in that sector, North Dakota has a really, really strong just grip on energy sector opportunities. So if you're looking to consult into your retirement, or if you're looking just for a really good investment into your retirement, that North Dakota land play could be a very, very good option. Another reason you may want to move to North Dakota is if you really enjoy being outdoors, especially hunting and fishing, you're going to have great opportunities in North Dakota. And then the other person that may really like North Dakota is the person that just kind of wants to get away from people. Very lowly populated. You do have access to amenities in the larger cities, but overall, there's not a huge population there. So in your retirement, if you're looking to just get away from people, North Dakota is not a bad option. Down to number 6, North Dakota's brother, South Dakota. Now, South Dakota's got no state income tax and has low sales taxes. So again, overall tax burden, really, really low. Why would you want to move to South Dakota? Well, again, if you enjoy the cold, you're going to have plenty of cold in the winters, maybe a negative for you. But one of the things that South Dakota has that's really appealing is large tracts of land. If you're looking for a ranch that you can run cattle on potentially, or even guide hunting, there's a lot of great hunting up there and fishing. So outdoors, or if you want a large piece of property for a fairly cheap price, South Dakota could be a really good option. Also, think about all of the visitors going to South Dakota. You've got the festivals like Sturgis. There's several music festivals, art festivals and stuff up there. You also have Badlands National Park or National Monument. You have Mount Rushmore. So if you're looking at potentially turning part of your property into an income producing, like a short-term rental or something like that, RV park, you may have really good opportunities with all the visitors that are coming into South Dakota also. That's one of the reasons that it's at number 6 on our list. Halfway home at number 5 with New Hampshire. Now, New Hampshire does have fairly high property taxes, but there's 0 income tax and 0 sales tax. Coincidentally, my home state, Texas, that's the reason it did not make the list, because we've got a pretty high sales tax and our property taxes are a little bit higher. But New Hampshire, who would have known, one of the lowest tax burdens in the country. Why would you consider moving to New Hampshire, especially if you're from somewhere in the South? Again, if you like winter, if you like some cold weather, New Hampshire is a good option, maybe a negative. But one thing that New Hampshire does have is they have 4 distinct seasons. It's not like the South. I mean, in Texas, heck, we got about 2 weeks of winter. We got about a month of nice weather on either side of that. And then it seems like the rest of the time we're in summer. New Hampshire, 4 distinct seasons. You're going to get amazing fall colors. The spring green up is incredible. You're going to have a lot of fishing opportunities. There's hunting opportunities there. So just being outdoors, and if you're looking for that 4-season experience, New Hampshire is a great opportunity. The other thing that makes it amazing is New Hampshire is one of the safest states in the United States. I didn't know that. The more I do these videos, the more research I do, the more I understand. But New Hampshire is an extremely safe state. That could be very important to you. So number 5, New Hampshire. Moving on to number 4, we've got Florida. Look, Florida is massive with retirees. We know this, but why? Well, one of the reasons is there's no state income tax, and overall the tax burden is, again, one of the extremely low ones out of all of the 50 states. So tax burden wise, you're going to be great for retirement. That's one of the reasons. But why do retirees move there? I mean, there's hurricanes. I don't know if everybody likes hurricanes, but I do know that their hurricane response is really, really good. They've kind of gotten that down over the years. Other reasons that people move there, though, you've got over 1,300 miles of beaches and coastline. You've got the entire Atlantic side, you got the entire Gulf side, and you got the Keys going down. So if you are a lover of water, especially salt water and beaches and fishing and things like that, Florida is amazing for that. Speaking of fishing, obviously you've got a ton of freshwater fishing as well. Some of the best bass fisheries in the world, incredible. So outdoors wise, Florida's got you covered. Also, they call it the Sunshine State for a reason. There's so much sun down there. And even though in the summer you can set your watch by the thunderstorms in the afternoon, it still has almost more sunshine than every other state. There's a few of them that have more, I know, but again, there's a reason they call it the Sunshine State. So for those reasons, could be a great opportunity for you to invest down there and buy for your retirement. Florida, number 4. As we get into the top 3, we're getting to Tennessee at number 3. Now, Tennessee, like all of these, 0 state income tax, low property taxes, low sales taxes, really overall low tax burden, could be a great opportunity for your retirement home. Why would you want to live there? Well, this one hits a little bit close to home because I'm personally eyeing Tennessee really, really hard for all of these reasons. One, you've got really good access to major metro areas. I mean, you've got Nashville, Knoxville's growing, and by growing, Nashville is exploding right now if you haven't been there lately. So you've got tons of music and culture and things like that. But overall, you're still having that Southern hospitality that the Southern states are known for. That's why it's called Southern hospitality. That was kind of dumb, but that's what you get when you go there. So you've got that mix of walking into a place and people telling you hi and wanting to get to know you, but you also have availability to the big cities if that's something that you want. Now, the next one that is a real reason, I mentioned a while ago with New Hampshire having four seasons. Tennessee's got 4 seasons, but you're not going to have those brutal, harsh winters. Of course, you're going to get snow, you're going to get ice in Tennessee, you've got the mountains there, but it's not like being in New Hampshire. So you're going to get those 4 seasons, but it's not quite as cold overall. For me, that's a big selling point over one of the northern states. These are all the reasons that when I talk to a good friend of mine who lives there, she loves living there. She's just outside of Knoxville, but that's a good time to bring up a point. Guys, I'm based in Texas, but if you're having a hard time finding an agent or a lending team or that big team that I always talk about in place when you're buying your land, reach out to me. I've got agents everywhere, all throughout the United States. More than happy to make those connections for you. But as for now, number 3, Tennessee could be a great place to set up for your retirement. All right, getting to the top 2. Number 2 is Wyoming. Like most of the other ones, there's 0 state income tax, very low property taxes. Tax burden here overall is minuscule. Great option. Now, again, you're going to have some cold, but if you're going to be in Wyoming, that's probably something that you're looking for. So what are the other reasons to move to Wyoming? First of all, again, kind of like South Dakota and North Dakota, if you're looking for a larger piece of land, if you want to run cattle in your retirement, if you want a ranch, Wyoming's a great option. Wide open spaces, again, like the Dakotas, if you just kind of want to get away from people, there's not a lot of people up in Wyoming. On top of that, if you're an outdoors person, holy cow. I mean, first of all, Grand Teton National Park, Yellowstone National Park. Okay, there's plenty of outdoor stuff there, but hunting, fishing, hiking, ATVing, jeeping, all of the things outdoors. That's what Wyoming is all about. So there you go. Number 2, Wyoming. Here we go. Number 1, the lowest tax burden, because there are no state income taxes. There are no state sales taxes. Property taxes are pretty low also, but overall, the lowest tax burden in the United States is Alaska. If you're thinking about moving to Alaska, like a couple of the other ones, okay, yes, it gets cold in the winter. So why in the world would anybody move to Alaska? Well, first of all, if you're an outdoors person, can you imagine a better place? Absolutely pristine forests, pristine waters, any kind of outdoor activity that you're looking for, except for maybe scuba diving. I don't think I would scuba dive up there, but anything else, fishing, hunting, hiking, camping, backpacking, off-roading, everything is available to you in Alaska. Also, if you're looking for extremely tight-knit communities, and if you want to find some place that's still got a little bit of the old school America pioneer spirit, that's Alaska. I mean, think about it. When you get into the winter and there's snow everywhere and it's dark, what do people do? They rely on other people. So in these communities, there's not all this urban sprawl like you see everywhere else. These communities are small. The people there are tight-knit. They understand who their neighbors are. They talk to their neighbors. So if that's something that you're looking for, the number 1 lowest tax burden state, Alaska, could be a great home for you.